An individual's perspective on CCSVI and a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis by Bobby O'Toole, dated Thursday, May 2nd, 2013, updated Friday, May 17th, 2013, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, underneath a moose. I'm going to start off by saying something really important to everyone, and that is that not one word of the following may apply to you. You may agree with this, you may not. I expect both. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide for yourself. If you really take the time to think about it, having a procedure done where your veins are ballooned and experiencing improvements in MS symptoms, this does not necessarily mean that improving blood flow resulted in those symptom improvements. It could, but we do not know. It just means that symptom improvements resulted from an effect of the procedure you had done on you. Even though blood flow may have improved, this does not mean that this improvement was the reasoning behind any of the improvements you experienced as an individual. There is no evidence to support that claim yet. I feel we need to keep proper perspective on this point when talking about CCSVI and the results we have obtained through our procedures, because there are others listening. If we keep referring to the CCSVI procedure as an MS treatment, we may as well find a softer wall to bang our heads against moving forward. Everyone with the MS diagnosis is different, and we all know this. Yet we cannot seem to accept the fact that not all people diagnosed with MS have vascular abnormalities, nor do they experience benefits from the CCSVI procedure. As long as we keep the conversation of CCSVI in relation to only MS, meaning the MS diagnosis of other individuals including ourselves, then research will probably show that CCSVI does not apply to everyone diagnosed with MS. Therefore, the CCSVI procedure itself will not improve symptoms for everyone diagnosed with MS either. What needs to be found out is why it is helping some. I believe those supporting and researching CCSVI should be trying to establish CCSVI as its own condition with its own set of symptoms. As long as the constant relation to MS is being made, research just has to keep on showing that CCSVI does not exist in everyone diagnosed with MS. And this will probably continue to happen because that's the way it is. We must also realize that there is a whole group of other human beings here who have a diagnosis of MS just like us, who have obtained the CCSVI procedure and experienced no benefits whatsoever, and they are conveniently being ignored and sometimes dismissed by members of the CCSVI community, because what they have to say does not support the claims being made by some and the claims they feel are needed in order to obtain the results within the Canadian government and our healthcare system that certain groups of people are seeking. These other individuals may very well feel, and rightfully so in my opinion, as though they wasted their money seeking CCSVI procedures and treatments because they based their decision on what others were saying and the claims that this was an MS treatment that was going to help everyone diagnosed with MS and it was possibly going after the root of the problem. The problem with this is that people were making these claims based on their own personal results and the results of others, and therefore believed they applied to anyone else who shared the MS diagnosis. This is a consistent problem seen at times, where claims are made that this or that helps MS, therefore it will help anyone diagnosed with MS. I declare that I was someone who was guilty of these actions in the past. I can now clearly see some of the problems that can arise from actions such as these, as well as the disconnect it can and will create among people, not just those in the MS community. With that being said, claims involving proper nutrition, proper exercise, lifestyle changes such as not smoking, these probably do apply to everyone diagnosed with MS because they apply to every single human being who is alive and breathing. It's an individual's choice, though, if they decide to apply them to themselves. They have to choose or not choose to take that responsibility for their own health. But what we really need to remember is that everyone diagnosed with MS is different. No two are alike. I often read it. But the reason why we are different has nothing to do with MS. We are different because as individuals, no two of us are alike. Throw away the diagnosis of MS, and we are different as individual human beings. And since we are all different, there will be many different paths that we need to travel. There will be many different solutions that people are going to find, and we need to listen to all of them. Then as individuals, we need to find out what is really going on with our individual bodies and see which treatment options will benefit us, our minds, our bodies, our souls, everything that makes us us. Not necessarily what will help MS. Because after all, isn't MS just something that our body is doing? Therefore, we ourselves are actually doing it and responsible for it because we are our body. I mean, we don't have a body, right? We are a body. And the mind, and the soul, or the spirit, ultimately the energy, the driving life force of our being, in the here and now of this life we are living. Perhaps we talk about MS and view MS sometimes as this entity which is separate from us, so we don't have to take responsibility for it. And it then permits us to continue to feel victimized by it. Perhaps sometimes we take on the role of MS and everything that is expected of us from those around us. One example of this being the MS fighter. Perhaps we lose track of ourselves in this transformation and in this process. Reflecting back, these are some of the questions I ponder about my own past actions in relation to my own diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. This opinion piece was not written to try and disprove any theories involving CCSVI or any other theory related to MS, even the autoimmune theory, which some of us dismiss for everyone as a whole diagnosed with MS, not just themselves. We may feel as though some theory does not apply to us, but this does not mean that it does not apply to someone else. We cannot and should not act this way because who are we to determine what is going on with anyone else and tell them they are wrong? I feel we should embrace all of the theories because they may apply to someone out there, and how we treat each other and how we connect with each other is important and is what should really matter. And not just among any labeled community, such as the MS community or CCSVI community, but also in life with everyone out there, the human community. I feel as though this umbrella diagnosis of MS leads to many different thoughts and opinions on the matters, and we can at times get so emotionally charged that we lose sight beyond ourselves and those who we choose to surround ourselves with. We lose track of each other. When searching for your own individual answers, what does not matter is what one individual believes, or what a group, no matter how big or small, believes, because they are not you. I have an opinion on what I believe is going on with me, but this will not apply to anyone else, because I am me and you are you. I believe people should search out those who treat them as human beings with feelings and emotions and everything else that makes us who we are, and not as a diagnosis. But you do at times need to ask yourself if you have taken on MS as your identity. Is this how you portray yourself to the world? Is this what people see when they see you? Can you even see who you are anymore without the diagnosis of MS? I believe people should search out people who will help empower them and help them figure out their own questions and answers, and help them realize that their answers are all within them. They just have to know how and where to look. This was written to bring awareness to the fact that we are all not the same because of a diagnosis, so I feel we need to be aware of our words and actions because they can and will affect others, especially those newly diagnosed by our medical community. This was written by an individual who focuses on improving health instead of treating a specific diagnosis. I've experienced benefits in my life from proper nutrition, proper exercise, alternative treatments to treat specific issues related to myself, and awareness of life and death, and CCSVI procedures on 2 different occasions to possibly treat vascular abnormalities and or my autonomic nervous system, or perhaps the procedures have had a positive effect on some aspect of my body which has not yet been discovered to be a problem. We must also remember to have compassion and empathy for each other, and not just for ourselves. Listen with the intent to understand, not to reply. Being right or wrong is all a matter of perspective. Remember that there is a battle going on inside each of us, which we ourselves are a part of. Remember that when a baby is crying, we do not yell or get angry at the baby in order to bring it peace. We show it love and compassion and try to understand what it is needing, and that is what we try and give it. Remember to show ourselves this same understanding. A fighting mentality will never bring about peace in our lives. I accept that my death is an inevitable part of my life, and I see the beauty in the now that exists all around me every minute of the day while I'm here with you, even under this moose. Remember to practice mindfulness. Just observe. What screws us up most in life is the picture in our heads we create and what we allow others to create for us of how we think it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be anything. It just is. Understanding, empathy, mindfulness, love, and compassion have all been my keys to enlightenment and happiness in my life. Always remember that MS is a medical diagnosis, not an identity. We are much, much more than just a diagnosis. Love always. Always.